morning. How's everybody out there in the Service Alliance community? I'm back filling in for TK. He's got training today, and I get to be with my sister from another Miss Ward, and we have a special guest today that I'm gonna let her introduce. But how you guys doing? Check in, drop a comment, let us know.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Miss Ward over here chilling with Sam Kiberu. He's my brother from the motherland, coming in, bringing in the sauce. Great guy. He's one of my coaching students, doing really well. He's getting into the industry, so we're going to look at his viewpoint, coming to the States, taking advantages of the opportunities that America has to offer, and using his skill set to go to the next level. So, Sam, you want to lead us in prayer this morning, man?
Yes. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this morning. We thank you for an opportunity for us to go out there and get it. We thank you for the wisdom to do the right things. We thank you for the strength to execute on all the opportunities that we have in front of us. And Lord, we pray for wisdom for us to do the right things as we go through this day. Even as we have this moment together with the rest of the crew, let us be a blessing to everybody else listening. And let this moment also be a moment of reflection and learning to all of us who are participating. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen.
Man,
Outstanding. Hey, we need you to come every episode and pray, don't we, EJ?
yeah. I mean, that was even better than tell us a little bit about yourself, Uh, that just told me a little bit about him. Uh,
Yes.
so we're checking in here. We're going to get to it. Jeremy checked in. Adam, Saul, he don't know what day it is. Paul finally knows what day it is. He thought yesterday was Tuesday and was wondering where the heck we was. But we don't have a show on Wednesdays. Uh, so I put you out there, Paul. We love you, though. So today we have Sam checking in uh, with the guest interview, and Miss Ward already introduced him a little bit. But Sam, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us what are you doing? Where are you at? How long you been in the industry? Start out with some of that.
Okay. So my name is Samuel Kiberu, and I'm from Uganda, East Africa. I've been in the US for over 10 years now. It's been an interesting journey, a lot of learning. I first got into appliance repair exposure on YouTube. That was during COVID 2019. And I was out of the country that time, and I came across Miss Ward and Mike Sneed. So I was wondering what I was going to do because everything had shut down, executed. So I came back when they opened up the borders and opened up the planes. When I came back to the US, I tried to apply with an appliance repair company. Nobody was hiring this industry. So I've been working for the last 2 years as an electronic technician in the utilities. But it's always been my ambition to start appliance repair. Now, when I first came to the US, I did electronics for 2 years, and so it made it easy for me to decide to do appliance repair because I felt it was in line with my electronics background. So I've been watching Miss Ward for about 3 years, and we eventually got in touch this month for the first time. And it's been a wonderful experience so far. I'm still working right now. I'm transitioning out of full-time employment to full-time appliance repair, and the sky's the limit.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Heck of a story. Where are you located at?
I am in Maryland, on the East Coast.
In Maryland
Yes.
and Newport, Maryland.
No, so right now I'm at Newport for training for the sales system today and tomorrow. But
Okay.
I'm in Maryland, Bethesda.
Yeah, that's where you live is Maryland.
Yes.
Okay. And you're hoping to transition into running your own appliance repair business. Is that what I understood?
Um, I am already running my appliance repair business, as you can see, fix appliance services.
Stick your chest out. Say it with your chest.
So, so I have been doing some jobs after my regular job. So when I get off in the evening, I've been doing some 1 or 2 jobs over the weekend, and with Miss Ward's guidance. And it's at a point that now I'm getting more referrals than I can even take with my
Oh,
regular job. So I'm trying to make sure I can take on more work because there's more that I can do right now than my time allows.
got it. Got it.
Outstanding. So, Sam, don't forget to tell
Yes.
them how you were scared to call me. How one of my other coaching students, one of my other
So,
coaching
of
students
course,
called me and said, "This guy wants to call you, but he's scared." I said, "He better be scared. He better have his stuff together."
so of course, everybody knows Miss Ward. If you've been following her YouTube channel, she doesn't play. So I
Yeah.
I was scared because one of the things she said, if you're not ready, don't waste my time, because I don't care if you want to pay me for consultation, I'll kick you out. So so I was holding back. So what I did, I tried to execute on the things she was talking about in the videos before I called her. So I opened up my company about 3 months ago. I did the credit check. I did the website. So by the time I talked to her, I'd been executing most of the things she was talking about for free online. Now I
Yeah.
met somebody. He's another appliance repair professional in the DMV, and I told him I want to talk to Miss Ward for pricing consultation, but I'm scared. He said, "No, I have a number right now." So he calls her right there and then. Miss Ward being Miss Ward, she said, "Hey guys, you guys are calling me. I have a full-time job. I'm busy right now. So get to the point." So she says, he better have his stuff together because I don't want to waste my time. And it's been a wonderful 2 weeks. I can say my life has been changed, and I mean it, because I've been able to execute on things that maybe could have taken me years, but having that kind of guidance and holding me to the fire, because I know sometimes she gets really tough, but I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to Miss Ward about that last week. Uh, she mentioned that again, and I said, well, when I first saw her on YouTube about 3 years ago, I wanted to call too, and she said, don't you be calling, in the video. And I was like, well, shoot, I ain't ready. They'll handle this. So I went a lot longer without asking her for help than you did, but I'm glad to say that we're friends now. Uh, so Sam, with you starting to make the transition, what is one of the things that is the biggest struggle that you're having right now?
I would say the technical information, because I remember one of my first jobs, I spent 4 hours in the customer's house because I didn't know what to do. I was
Yeah.
sweating, and the customer asked, "Do you want some water?" I said, "Yeah." I took the first bottle. 2 hours later, she asked again, "Do you want more water?"
That's
I
because she
said,
saw it
"Yes,
on the forehead.
yes." So I would say my biggest challenge has been the technical knowledge, because you go out there, you're dealing with so many different appliances of different kinds, and you're trying to learn refrigeration, microwaves. It's coming all directions, so it's tough. And the other thing, I think managing a business, if you have never run a business before, it's extremely overwhelming, because the accounting and the paperwork, it's a lot. Yes.
Amen. Uh, Joe here is with you, Sam. He says he sweats a lot too. He takes a fan inside with him. Hosang Appliance Repair is giving you some encouragement. Get that knowledge up. Uh, and I don't know if you caught this one. Saul's down in South Florida. He says Maryland don't have the good Matoke or Lawambo.
That's the local food from Uganda. That's the local food from Uganda he's talking about.
He said Florida's where it's at. You need to come to Florida. They got this.
I'll be there.
So,
Go ahead.
So what I want to express is how I'm always on the channel talking about training. Like, look at Sam. Sam's been coaching with me a couple of weeks here. Everything that we discussed, he got on it. He stayed, because one thing people don't know when they come to coaching with me is, like, you might talk to me on Sunday and your next visit might be the following Sunday, but I'm gonna have my foot hanging out your nose every day. Like, I'm calling you every day to make sure you're on top of those tasks, because the sense of urgency and the momentum that you have to build for consistent success is contagious. It's something you have to do off the rip. And if you're not accustomed to it, if you don't have someone right there with you, pushing you through it till you can go on your own. The thing I love about Sam is, I didn't like, right now he's in Newport, Virginia, he's going 3.5 hours from his home to go get SEAL system training. And is it R600, Sam, or?
Lock ring, R600, and SEAL
See,
system.
you got people been in this for 20 years. They ain't trying to do none of that. So the whole thing that I push is, you have to continue to level up, develop relationships and roundtables with people that have technical skill sets, and don't be afraid to go out and get it. You're gonna stumble and fall, but, like, look at this guy. This guy is grinding, and I'm sorry, y'all. That's so rude. I thought I cut it off. And of course it's Geo. Hey Geo, I know you're watching. But you got to really have patience with yourself, but you also have to understand that every day you're training. Like this morning, gym at 4 o'clock. I was at the gym at 4. After that, I come in and I read pages of business books, and then I study. Believe it or not, I go back and study schematics. I study things that I feel like on weekend, because I know I just checked something yesterday that took me longer than it should in my mindset. Now, anybody else, it might have been quick, but I have levels of expectations for myself. And the thing you got to do is, you got to outdo you. Skip everybody else. Outdo you. And the thing I love about Sam is that Sam comes with a wide open mind in how he's applying this. He's not only leveling up in appliance repair, but he's applying it to everything in his life. His wife is coming to the States. He's being a real man about it and getting his house in order so that she comes to a lap of luxury. You feel, being the queen she is, and that speaks to him as a man. I'm just keeping it real. So I'm always about giving people their flowers, because you'll hear people talk about how they can't make money in appliance repair, but they go to appliance repair like it's a mom and pop business. We're in 2023. These corporations and hedge funds are not playing with you guys in appliance repair. They're coming not only to take the market, but to take the market and wipe you out. And if you don't step your game up to that, above that corporate level, and then put your twist on it and make it work for you, you're not going to make it. And that's why I like the way that Sam is moving. He's going directly into a part of SEAL systems that people are afraid of. He's not intimidated in the least. He's sticking his chest out, putting his money where his mouth in, and he's putting in the laps now so he can be successful later.
Amen. You hit that head on. The training is where it's at. continuous education. Uh, me and you both have been in it a few years, but we're still getting our training on uh, paying to play the game, and it brings great returns when you do it right. And Sam, I want to take a minute to give you a little encouragement as well, because man, I didn't come to this country for life. I had it easier, okay, uh, but I went from a full time job and slowly built this to where I could take that leap to go from full time, depending on somebody else to pay me for my work, to running my own thing. Okay, and you're well on your way. I think you're probably closer than you think you are, and you're doing the right things. I want to say it gets easier when this is the only thing you do, but as you level up, it gets harder in a different way. So right now you're working a full time job. Uh, you're learning everything you can. You're spending longer time in each house than you will later, and you're trying to run your business. Once you get rid of the other thing, the full time job, you're going to be able to focus a little bit more for a little while, but then you're going to grow to that
Yeah.
level where it's too much again. And as you scale and grow, if you do the right things in the right order and you just get after it and don't half step, you're going to be great. Because I love the attitude, and you speak with a confidence and a professionalism. I'm impressed already.
That's right. I only coach the best. Long as you know. I only
Um,
coach the best, and I'm telling you, he'll be on the job and call me like I got on the other day. He called me on the LG. I'm like, dude, you done called me. I don't have no model number. I don't see images and pictures of what you're going on. My eyes are not your eyes, because with my students, I'm very protective of them and their experiences, because we all been in them situations where it was a straight setup and had no idea, because we were just there to help the customer to do the best we can. So I'm very protective of the people I coach. So Sam, let's go back to what our topic is supposed to be, which is time. How has
yes.
coaching, what approaches have you put in place that have helped you be able to balance the time between the full-time job, learning and developing and growing your business?
Now, let me take it back a step. Time for me, I realized that I could take the long way by learning on my own, but by getting a mentor, which is like, for example, Miss Ward, you are saving me time because I'm learning the things that could take me years to figure out on my own. So by getting a mentor right from the very start, it's helping me kind of go to exactly where I need to be. So
Oh yeah.
I think that's the main thing for me, because the things we talk about, I've never had anybody talk to me like that about like my career, about holding me accountable. So that's one thing. Then you talk about the pre-game. So I did invest into the MSA, into the Master Samurai, and to help with my pre-game. So before I go out to the customers, I make sure I do the schematics. I get the serial number, the model number, and I tell them to text me the image. So that helps me to kind of have an idea of what I'm dealing with. Then you also mentioned something to do with looking up the address of the customer and going on the realtor website. I've done that, and sometimes you can see how the house looks like, and how the kitchen looks like. So when I go to the house, I already have an idea of how the house is set up. Case in point, asking the customers to send me photos of the appliance has saved me double trips, because it happened last week. I didn't do it. I went out to the job, and the customer had a stacked unit, dryer and washer. Now, Miss Water told me, but I didn't listen. So I go out there and I couldn't move it. So the pre-game that Miss Watt talks about, communicating with the customers, text them, tell them to send you the images, the serial number, the model number, has saved me so much time because I go out there prepared. I mean, I'm still learning, but it helps that I go out there a bit prepared. Then she's told me about QuickBooks. So I QuickBooks and the CRM software. I'm using WorkEase right now, and that helps me a lot too because instead of me having to worry about copying and pasting Excel, everything is interlinked. And so QuickBooks is interlinked with my WorkEase, and that's saving me time on the back end. I can only imagine how much time I would be spending if I didn't have that. So those are some of the things that I'm doing. It's quite a lot, but those are some of the things I'm doing to help me save time.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
I gotta
Outstanding.
gotta interject here first, Miss Ward, but you you missed one of them. You missed one of your resources.
Yeah. Service Alliance Group.
Put him on with the Service Alliance Group.
Yeah, he's got to be signed up with that as a full member. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, I'll tell you, some people may feel like you didn't answer the question about time management, but I think you did, because she is saving you so much time, and you interacting with Miss Ward, so much of the learning curve. And I talked about this a little bit on Friday on our last grind with Shayna and Jenny. Jenny was talking about comparing your your progress to other people's progress and trying to basically keep up with the Joneses. You know, if you're in this long, you should have this many texts or you should be this big. And I'll tell you, the people that I've watched come up after me, and Doug, Doug's watching. Good morning, Doug. Doug has watched my journey, and I'm getting to watch other people's journeys, and it's happened every time. We're blown away by how quickly people that pay attention and find that support, that network, how quickly they're growing their business and they're shortening the learning curve. You're not making the same mistakes as drastically. Like I had to bump against the guardrails for a couple of years before and I had some help. And the people that come and ask me questions, they're getting by faster than I did, and you are. And I'm just impressed. Just like Doug used to tell me when I was going from full time to making that leap, uh, he encouraged me and mentored me in ways, and it's just impressive. It's fun to watch each new business owner get it, because for so many years there was very little support like this. Social media has helped bring the network together, but the people are the ones that's making the difference. I hope that you're involved in some of these Facebook groups, and you are building up an inner circle as well, because you're going straight to the top, brother.
Yeah. Well, Sam,
I'm
tell
just
him what you
trying.
told me. Sam, tell him what you told me yesterday when I talked to you about this is what I mean about mindset. Sam said something to me about being eager to do the interview and a couple of reasons why. Why don't you tell him what you told me, Sam?
So
Oh no. Well, basically what Sam told me is that he was eager to do the interview and he was eager to expand his network. It's a great networking opportunity. And the beautiful part about stuff like that is that you can't train that. That's why I'm so particular about who I coach. This guy showed up to the
sorry,
table not only
sorry.
eager but ready to go. Go ahead.
Are you
Sorry, I
there?
lost you for a moment. Um, yes. So I did talk to Miss Watt. She texted me yesterday and said, "Oh, Sam, there's an opening for being part of the podcast." And for me, I've learned that when an opportunity comes up, it's better you say yes and you figure it out, because you just don't know what comes from these discussions.
Yes.
Because how I got to get Miss Watt's number is because I reached out to somebody who had her number, and now talking to her, look what's happening. So, and I can only imagine that somebody else who may be in my situation at the level that I am at, hearing me talk about my journey, about my progress, can be encouraging. And at the same time,
Yes.
I'm learning. Now today, EJ is going to be my best friend. Sorry, Miss Watt. So
You,
there's power in these networks, because me dealing with you and dealing with other people on the group, there's so much that can come from that. And I'm always eager for me to be part of that network, to contribute and receive something back in the process.
amen. Speaking of that, Sam, I know this
Yes.
is a yes, Doug. We have become best friends. He said you picked a good one. Uh, this is an interview with you, but if it's all right with Miss Ward, I'd like to turn the tables here. You mentioned the opportunity to get in this room and spread the, learn from other people. Do you have any questions for us or the community that's watching uh, that can help you right now? This is that free game.
Yes. So my biggest challenge right now is the numbers, the business numbers, how to run the accounting side. Because yes, the work is coming in, lots of it, but I want to make sure I'm on the good side of the accounting and the profits. So as a newcomer who hasn't really had business experience in America, how do you make sure you have your books in order, even as a one-man team?
Man, you asked the right question because I need that answer too. Uh, I, I'll tell you, as a one man, I did the very basic QuickBooks. Uh, my background is in industrial maintenance, but I spent a few years before I transitioned in management in the maintenance field. So I wasn't a stranger to a profit and loss statement and budgets, and I was production maintenance, so like factories. I know I knew leadership and management, and I knew you want to be efficient in what you do, so you spend less time and money to get more money and all of those things. So that kind of stuff came to me natural. Uh, but as I'm growing, it's becoming more difficult. I hired a bookkeeper, and
Dang, y'all all like leaving me today.
I've sorry, my alarms are going off. I've been spending a lot of time in the last couple months of studying it. I like
Yeah,
to analyze the numbers. 'Cause I'll tell you one thing that you're going to get with Workies that you probably already know is they have a lot of reports you can run and you can keep up. But all of this
okay,
is only as good as the data that you put in. A computer's great, but it can only put out what is put in. So
yeah,
as you do the jobs, don't skimp out on the details and the tracking. Put in as much information as you can onto each job. Start doing tags if you're not doing tags in the work orders, and that's where you're going to figure it out. Now, you do need to hire somebody that knows the numbers, the bookkeeping side, just to
Yeah.
keep you straight. But the analysis, don't sleep on the analysis. You need to put in the numbers and then analyze them. The analyzing is my favorite part. I don't like putting in information. I love having information.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. And I'll tell you, the sooner you can start with more information, the better, because each step that I've grown, I've started to track more things. And I really wish I could look back at the entire history of my business and track all this stuff. But I did 2 years with Square and Google not tracking hardly anything. So
Yeah.
I've got the first 2 years of my business I don't even have real records of.
Yeah.
Well, my recommendation, I just sent you two books. One is called Profit First by Michael, and then the other one is Profit First by Sean Van Dyke, which is the one for the contractors. I just sent that to you in a text through Audible. My
Yeah.
recommendation is that the most important thing you need to do is understand those numbers. And if it's one ticket a day that you break down as far as how much did I pay for parts, how much profit did I have out of it, and then you need to include as if you're paying someone payroll and those things to get the real numbers. Now, what I recommend, QuickBooks is good, but QuickBooks is only as good as you are. So I actually not just use QuickBooks, I use Everyday Budget from Dave Ramsey. And the reason I do that is because I love the fact that it is so consistent and it forces me to reconcile. QuickBooks forces you to reconcile, but it ain't in your face like Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey stuff be
Yeah.
in your face like he's sitting there cutting up credit cards in front of you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's a really great thing, and it's really inexpensive. I think it's $79.99 or something. And the thing I like about it is you need to watch the money. So you can take everyday budget and uh, put it in place for your personal life, because the same
Yeah.
way you manage your money in your personal life, the business is just going to magnify how you manage your stuff.
Yeah.
That's why when
Yeah.
you hear me talking about the business credit, all those things you did, remember the first call we did and you were talking about you attempted to do something with the bank. And I said, well, this
Yeah.
is the proper procedure from that. And that goes back to that coaching piece. When it comes to, and this is not financial advice, everybody, click, click, click. But the key is that when you're in the appliance repair business, the problem is so much money come through. If you don't understand that that might be money, but that could be just empty sales with 1% profit.
Yeah.
Like, and this is why I have some, people have conflicts about the way I sell and how I run my business, which I could care less. Y'all know that. But the reality is I run it like a corporation because I understand that the expenses never stop, the ones you know about and then the ones you don't know about. So the money has to come from somewhere. So you have to manage your business accordingly, but you should be looking like just this morning. I sat down and actually hand wrote all my bills, personal and business, out because I wanted to make sure as my checks and everything started to come in and my funds, that these things are handled. My goal is to save 50% of what I make, which is huge. But because I
Yeah.
see things on the horizon, I realize that has to be done,
Yeah.
you know? So you
Yeah.
got to address it the way you need to address it. The bookkeeper is definitely necessary. But what I like to tell people, learn how to do this yourself. So when you hand it over to somebody, you don't get embezzled or taken
Yep.
advantage of, because I see that all the time too.
That's
Okay.
absolutely right. You have to you have to be able to know enough to know that they're doing it right. And I'm learning that. Not that my bookkeeper is going wrong, but I've been wanting to know some things, and I haven't been meeting with them. So
Okay.
it's it's where I got caught half stepping.
Yeah. I got one more thing to say here about that. My partner is a headmistress at one of the top private schools in Pennsylvania. She just lost her mind 2 weeks ago because the audit came up. And during the audit, they found out that some of the parents hadn't paid the complete tuition from the previous year because they had a bookkeeper that was working for the subcontractor that they put their accounting with. You follow? Because my partner has financial background, she was accustomed to like being on top of it. But when she got promoted to her position, the people under her didn't have the same background for the checks and balances, and she entrusted these people. So here she's sitting here with an audit where she's responsible for missing money that they got to go back and get. This is what I mean about being on top of. You got to have touch points. No matter what
Yeah.
industry you're in, you got to have touch points. You have to trust, but you have to verify. And if your butt is hanging out, you can't blame nobody but you. And that's why you ain't gotta be the best at it, but if it don't look right, it don't smell right, it ain't right.
Yeah.
We got a couple comments here for Sam. Doug says, make having a bookkeeper a necessary part of your budget. Once you build a strong budget, you will then need to know what you need to charge your customers. So, Doug is a general manager of a big appliance repair company in Connecticut. I think they got like 17 techs, and he's been doing this for 30 years. So take that advice. I don't know if we lost him, but he can watch it later. Dr. Dan, he's also been doing this for a very long time. He says, know your numbers and how to read them. There are times bookkeepers don't do everything you need. Amen. And Ms. Ward, you had a good point there on the checks and balances. Uh, TK mentioned last week that if you don't have your processes in place, and it don't mean having a procedure for everything, but if you don't have checks and balances in place for like your money, your inventory, different things, don't even think about growing yet. The more the more people you add to the mix, the more muddy the water gets. Uh,
Yep, like
what
returning parts. Oh my God, let's not talk about returns and credits and oh my God,
what
money
else
just sitting there.
is he there?
What else do you have? What other questions do you have for us, Sam?
Somehow he's muted.
Sam, you're muted. We can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you might
Oh,
just listen only right now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh, but
Sam, you're still muted. It looked like it went unmute and then mute again. What about your earpiece? Did you take your earpiece out, or is it dead? Or you might want to just go
well,
take out the Bluetooth. Nope, you're still muted.
we're gonna have to roll on then.
Yeah, because we gotta close this down.
So one thing we want to do is give our shout outs where they're due. Miss Ward, Solid Steps to Wealth on YouTube. Uh, you've heard full 30 minutes of testimonial for what it's like to work with her, but don't come if you ain't ready. And that doesn't mean you got to run a great business. It just means you got to be ready to do the work that you got to do. Don't be too scared, but definitely be scared. Okay, respect it. Of course, we are the Service Alliance Group. We have the business resources and documentation that you need to start, run, and grow your business effectively. We want to be in your corner, helping you grow. So we have what you need, and if we don't, you can ask, and we'll try to find it or point you in the direction. So make sure you check that out. We have a few plans for different budgets and different needs. So let us know what you need. Uh, and Sam, thank you so much for coming. I know you can't talk right now, but or I'd let you give some closing thoughts. Uh, I don't want to skimp out on the encouragement. You are doing the things right, and it's going to get easier and harder and easier and harder and harder, but it's worth it. It's fun. Uh, the challenge is rewarding, and you're doing it right. So keep it up. Keep listening to people, and expand your network. You're going to be straight to the top.
Absolutely.
Miss Ward, thank you for joining us and carrying the energy today. Uh, Joe says thanks too.
What
So
up, Joe?
be sure to come back tomorrow. It's Freestyle Friday. We don't know what's going to happen, but if you want to know, you got to come and show up. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.